do that. And no tough questions today. Just real easy. Just, we want to just hear some experiences from you and your thoughts on certain things. So thank you for meeting with me today. And we'll just jump right into it. So first thing wanted to say, I live in Slidell. I know you went to high school in Marrero. So talk a little bit about the Louisiana culture when it comes to sports and football in particular, and what did you experience growing up?
It's well, I mean, football is big around here, especially when the fall time comes. It's pretty special time because it's an outlet for kids who don't have too much to run to. When you have sports and you have school, but the only way you can play sports is if you do good in school. So it's really sometimes it's their main source. So they take a lot of pride in trying to make a better situation for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that all the time too, even with my own kids. I'm like, you have to have, the highest GPA if you even want to play. So I think that's important. Um, Talk to me about after high school and your career. I mean, you've obviously played at every level, and so talk about your experience from going to LSU and then beyond that.
LSU was an hour away from where I grew up and everything like that. So it was just good to stay home in the states where I grew up, and it made it that much more special because you're homegrown and the fans know you're homegrown. So the love is good. But even if you're not from the state, once you uh, play for that school and that you're part of that family.
So, what are your thoughts on LSU season so far this year and what you've seen out of them?
I mean, pretty much you don't want to get disappointed. When I played, we at least we tied with Alabama SEC schools, so it's like it was a back and forth thing. Now, I like a fight. You know what I mean? I want some people when you hit them, they get back up and you keep on swinging. But it's been tough to see some of the challenges, and hopefully, they get it back rolling. But yeah, it's whenever they lose, it's always tough because of the position that I'm used to and just the talent that is in Louisiana.
Right. And the fans, they're just so dedicated. And it's like, you're either in a good mood or bad mood after a LSU victory or loss.
Absolutely, winning national championship, winning a lot of games. The fans they don't take losing easily.
Yeah. And then, so after LSU, you were drafted, it was in the third round. Is that right?
Correct.
So what was that draft process like? Obviously, first round, was televised. And then after that, um, it's kind of like wait and see. So what was it like in that draft process waiting for you to get that phone call?
I had mixed emotions because where I trained at, half of my training people, they had their names called early. You know, J.J. Watt, Julio Jones, Marcel Dawes. I mean, at least a dozen guys who I trained with, they had their names called early. So I was like, I'm a part of that class too. And in life, sometimes it don't go as planned, but I was thankful when my name was called.
Where were you when you were waiting to get the phone call? Were you home?
I was in Baton Rouge. Me and my mom, we just watched.
That's got to be so nerve-wracking, just sitting there, just waiting and waiting. And like you said, seeing other guys go like before you that you trained with. So, but you did get the phone call and you ended up with the Colts first off, right? Is that right? Did I see that right? Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, just making sure. And so what was your experience like going from playing at the college level to now in the pros?
Yes. So it was amazing experience. One of my special moments was Reggie Wayne, uh, Hall of Famer. He was my teammate, and guess what? He played at John Errol High School, the same high school I was from the same neighborhood I was from. So that's one of my biggest highlights in life to share the same locker room with someone who watch growing up from my same neighborhood and to be an actual teammate with him years later. It was cool, like top five moments.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that that would be, to have someone that you look up to and then you're there playing with them. I mean, yeah, that's got to be a dream come true for sure. What about from like a skill standpoint? Was it surprising to you going from, because I know they, like, I played basketball in college, and that jump from high school to college is very, very like swift. So what was it like from college to the pros from a skill level?
As far as the skill level, when you like, I had a great strength coach in high school and college, so I pretty much was physically ready. It just was the mental part of it. Some moves that I did in college it didn't work in the pros, so I had to learn the tricks of the game. And so I was blessed with some great mentors. I had Robert Mathis and the White Friends, Hall of Famers, and I had a lot of veterans. I was one of the young guys in the booth, so with a lot of talent, and some veterans giving me some tips. I was ready to make some noise.
What kind of tips did they give you? Like what were the tricks and tips that they gave you?
Or just like trust your talent. Don't be too anxious, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Set your
And
move up.
yeah, and I think what you said with the mental part of the game, I think people really underestimate what that entails when you're playing at that level and that you're with the best of the best then. So what like advice would you give to kids in high school, college that's their goal, but like they're maybe struggling with that mental side of things?
Oh, I mean, it's every day is you versus you. In life, there's so many distractions you can get tied up into. So my advice to high school and college is to just stay in your lane, try to find a mentor, and do extra. Because just what you're doing at practice and with the team, that's not enough. As I look back to my All American years, I was able to elevate my game because just putting in that extra work, having a good sleep routine too. All of that stuff helps. Like you really have to be detailed if you want to be the best at what you do, so that you can be in position to compete at a high level.
That's
So
great.
it's actually a lot of steps to being great. Uh, and hopefully the next time we can tap into that.
Yeah, I think that that's such a great point that you're making, and I think that that's kind of lost on a lot of kids nowadays. So I think that's great. Yeah, I'd love to dive into that at another time. So tell me a little bit. You played for the Chargers, Cowboys, the Jags, and then the Panthers. So out of those five teams, where was your favorite place to play?
Besides the coach, where I
Mhm.
played, spent a lot of time with, I would say the Panthers and the Jaguars had a good vibe with it.
Okay. You would think I just assume, oh, Cowboys, they're a big name, everyone. They say America's team. That's not America's team, in my
Yeah.
opinion. The Saints, right here.
But honestly, if you say like a lot of bright lights, like New York teams and the Cowboys, besides that, uh, that was a highlight. You go to different teams and you think you're still in Dallas because you see a lot of Cowboy jerseys. So besides having a lot of support from around the country, uh, that was fun about being with the Cowboys.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I could definitely see that point.
And the
So then
Thanksgiving game, that was cool too.
what's that?
That Thanksgiving game, that was a cool moment too.
Oh, I bet
Playing
that
on
was.
Thanksgiving.
What was that like getting to do that?
It was cool. It was cool. My family was in town, and it was pretty good.
Awesome. I bet that is. I mean, that's always a highlight of my Thanksgiving, just watching it. So, after the NFL, then you played in the CFL a bit. How long did you play there?
I did it at least 7 years, from
Wow.
15 until 21. So spent quite a time in Canada. Actually, we had a season canceled, so wasn't really able to have that previous season. But that's life, you know.
Yep. And you really must have been in great shape and had some really great coaches to be able to like play that long because I know how physically demanding playing football is. And um, did you like have a regular routine that you stuck to, or how did were you able to stay in shape to play for that long?
Just over the years, learning how to take care of your body, massage, stretching, working out, because all of those things play a role in you staying healthy. And of course, pray first. You know, pray first from a lot of tragedy type of situation because it's a definitely it's a violent game. So pretty much just taking everything serious.
Yeah. So what are you up to now? Where do you live in Louisiana or where are you at?
Yeah, I'm in Louisiana, PE and middle school football coach. So just trying to push those students and athletes as far as they can go.
How do those kids like what kind of questions do you get from those kids? Because obviously they're probably like, did you play football? And then what kind of questions do you get from that age?
Uh, do you play football? How was it? Did you get drafted? How was it? Just want to know how being a professional football player. But the good thing about those kids, you know, they don't just get starstruck, and they like me for who I am. So once we get past the professional questions and stuff like that, it's coach, how can I be better? So they know why I'm in their lives.
That's good. They're lucky to have you because not everybody gets to have obviously someone with that experience, but you are able to give them such good advice. So they're really lucky to have you over there. So good for you and
Yeah,
lucky little kids over there getting having Coach Drake, you
yeah,
know?
yes. And I tell them all the time, like I didn't grow up saying you know I was going to be a PE coach, but it was an opportunity that came, and I knew I always wanted to mentor and life coach people. So I took it and ran with it. And they asked why did I retire? Because they still want me to play. But I say everything happened for a reason. Like you wouldn't have met me if I wouldn't have retired and things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, I know, and unfortunately that day comes for everyone.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's great that you're doing that now. And any like last advice, I don't want to keep you your whole lunch break, but any like last advice, words of wisdom you'd have for just any other kids that are gonna watch this and see and say, I want to be good and I want to be great. So how can I do that?
My thing is with your focus, you can go a long way, and just run your race. But if you want to do something, you got to be willing to put in the time. Because I was 12 years old when I wanted to make strides to getting in the NFL. So being courteous at school, putting a lot of hard work in, and just working out. I mean, it's not luck. You got to put in the work. And if your name called, if your name not called, you can look in the mirror and say, I gave it my all. So you got to give it your all and make sure you enjoy other things. Because what happens if your name is not called? Who are you outside of sports? So that's my thing. If you play sports, make sure you put your best foot forward in sports. Be great at it, work hard, but just make sure you find out what else you're good at.
That's solid. Yep, that's great. Perfect. Well, I really appreciate you sitting down and giving us a little bit of time, and we'll have this up on the site soon. But it's always great to talk to someone that's had the experiences that you have and has given back to their community. And also, I really appreciate you chatting today.
Thank you for having me on. Look forward to more.